Alright, so Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. My name is Azira. We will be presenting about analysis of corporate financial performance, a trend and comparative study for Nova Wellness and Apex Healthcare. So it was previously known as A Health. So recently they changed the name to Apex Healthcare as of now. So in our group, there's me, Azira Azmi, Afiq Razak, Aina Izzati, Zainal Arifin, and Muhammad Afif bin Nur Hashim. So a little bit of introduction for Nova Wellness. So Nova Wellness is actually a leading Malaysian company specializing in distribution and supply of high quality medical and healthcare products. And they are actually one of the strongest contenders competitors for Apex Healthcare, and one of the companies that is listed in Bursa Malaysia. So with a strong focus on customer satisfaction, regulatory compliance, and continuous improvement, Nova actually has built reputation for reliability and excellence in the healthcare industry as of now. As for Apex Healthcare Berhad, it is also one of the leading Malaysian healthcare groups specializing in development, manufacturing, distribution, and marketing of pharmaceutical products, health supplements, and consumer healthcare goods. So this Apex was actually established back in 1962, and it is also has built a strong reputation for quality, innovation, and reliability in healthcare sector. Also one of the company that is listed in Bursa Malaysia. So main business activities for both of these companies are slide. So for Nova Wellness, their core business activities focus more on research and development. They invest in scientific research to develop innovative health supplement, focusing on efficacy, safety, and quality. Apart from that, they're also focusing on manufacturing. The company operates a GMP certified manufacturing facility, ensuring products meet stringent quality standard. Apart from that, there is also distribution, which is Nova distribute its products to the pharmacies, clinic, hospital, and healthcare professional throughout the Malaysia and internationally. For their product range, their portfolio includes vitamins, mineral, herbal, supplements, and specialty nutraceutical designed to support various aspects of health and wellness. Nova Wellness also offered education and training, which provide educational resources and training for healthcare professionals to promote evidence-based use of supplement. So this is actually one of their mission to enhance the quality of life by delivering trusted. Alright. So for Apex Healthcare Berhad, their core business activities also includes pharmaceutical manufacturing, product development and research, which is an add-on bonus point for them, distribution and marketing, consumer healthcare, contract manufacturing, and international operations. So we will look into their liquidity ratio for both of these companies. Fit, please. Next slide, please. Alright, so this financial trend analysis that we have done. So the first one, we will look into the liquidity ratio based on the current ratio for both of these company. So the current ratio, for us to be able to get the ratio, we will be dividing current asset with current liabilities, and as we can see, the ratio for Nova Wellness is increasing towards the 2024. However, for Apex Healthcare, mostly it maintains stagnant with a little bit of increasing towards 2024, actually decreasing. So next slide, please. Next. So here we include the graph for the trend and analysis for the liquidity, current ratio for this both company, and we will look into the next one, which is a quick ratio. And in order for us to get a quick ratio, we will be dividing current asset, total of current asset minus inventory minus prepaid expenses, divide by current liabilities. So we can see from here that still Nova Wellness is dominating in the turning the quick ratio for this both of this company towards the end of 2024. Next, please. Next slide, please. Alright, so as a conclusion and analysis for both of these quick ratio trend for this company, we can see that Nova Wellness consistently demonstrate much higher liquidity than Apex Healthcare, with both current and quick ratios well above the industry norm. This indicates that Nova Wellness has a very strong ability to meet short-term obligation, possibly reflecting a more conservative working capital policy or less aggressive investment in inventory and receivable. Apex Healthcare maintain healthy liquidity but at a more moderate level, which may indicate more efficient use of current asset or a more aggressive growth strategy. Next, we will be talking about the net working capital. I will hand over this to Afiq, please.
Okay, so for next, the net working capital, we can see from the data here shows that for net working capital, Apex Healthcare is getting more amount, and throughout the years, however, the amount also increases. So compared to Nova Wellness, it is increases, but it's not as high as Apex Healthcare. So from the graph, you can see the analysis here. Apex Healthcare has a much larger absolute net working capital, reflecting its greater scale and asset base. Nova Wellness also shows steady growth in net working capital, but on much smaller scale, consistent with a smaller company. Okay, so from here, from the data, you can see Nova Wellness shows steady growth, but it's a smaller scale compared to Apex Healthcare. You can see it's more giant. So next on the analysis, the liquidity ratio for Nova Wellness are strong throughout the period from 2020 to 2024. This demonstrates the company's robust ability to pay its short-term debts using its current or quick asset. Notably, Nova Wellness current and quick ratios are consistently high. Okay, so this high level of liquidity suggests that Nova Wellness is well protected against short-term financial risks and can easily meet obligations as they come due. On the comparative side, you can see based on our analysis, Nova Wellness consistently maintains higher liquidity ratios compared to Apex Healthcare. This shows as well from the graph that we seen earlier. Other than that, liquidity ratios are a key measure of a company's ability to use current asset to pay short-term obligations, which in turn influences the financial reputation and stability of the business. Companies can further improve their liquidity by converting non-essential assets into cash, ensuring they remain well positioned to handle any short-term financial challenges. So for next activity ratio, we can see the inventory turnover here equals to COGS divided by inventory. So you can see on the data here, Nova Wellness is getting less compared to Apex. Apex is getting a much more bigger data compared to Nova Wellness. And this is the graph showing Nova Wellness on a smaller scale and Apex Healthcare on the larger scale side. Next is regarding the average collection period. So how we find it by doing the formula account receivable divided by daily sales of the company. So for each company, you can see the average collection period. Nova Wellness is much more higher compared to Apex Healthcare. The average collection period, the highest throughout the years is only 72 compared to Nova Wellness, much more higher, which is 176 days. So this is graph showing as well. Nova Wellness average collection period is higher compared to Apex Healthcare. Next, for the account receivable turnover, we can find it by sales divided by account receivable. So for account receivable turnover, we can see that Apex Healthcare is getting more account receivable turnover compared to Nova Wellness. So the graph also resonate with the previous data, showing that for Nova Wellness, it's not that high receivable turnover compared to Apex Healthcare. So for the next fixed asset turnover, how do we find it? We by searching the sales, and then we find divided with the fixed asset. So if you can see from the table here, the fixed asset turnover for Apex Healthcare is much more higher compared to Nova Wellness towards the year from 2020 to 24. So this is data showing the fixed asset turnover for the both company. So next, the total asset turnover, we will find it by doing the formula sales, and then we divide with the total asset of the company. So if you can see, the total asset turnover for Apex Healthcare is much more higher. However, throughout the years, both company, I would say Apex Healthcare is reducing. However, for Nova Wellness, the total asset turnover not showing any pattern, is more towards random pattern. So this is a graph showing the total asset turnover for both company. All right, so next, for activity ratio analysis, we can see the Nova Wellness versus Apex Healthcare throughout the year. Inventory turnover, in terms of inventory turnover, they consistently, Apex Healthcare shows much higher inventory turnover. We can see around 5.5 to 6.4 times compared to Nova Wellness, generally below 1.1 times. The interpretation is that Apex Healthcare is more efficient in managing and selling its inventory. So from the data, that's what we can conclude regarding the inventory turnover. Whereas Nova Wellness low turnover suggests lower inventory movement, which could tie up capital and increase holding costs. On accounts receivable turnover side, we can see that Apex Healthcare maintains a higher account receivable turnover compared to Nova Wellness that is showing declining trend. As you can see previously, we discussed the trend is 3.45 to 24 times. So Apex Healthcare collect its receivable more quickly, reflecting efficient credit policies and strong cash flow management, whereas Nova Wellness is showing lower and declining ratio, showing that there's lower collection, which may increase credit risk and might impact liquidity. Next one, the fixed asset turnover. We can see Apex Healthcare again outperforms Nova Wellness, ratio ranging from 2.5 to 3.37 times, while Nova Wellness remains around only typical 1.05 to 1.2 times. So this shows that Apex Healthcare is more effective at generating sales from its investment in fixed asset, indicating a better utilization of its property, plant, and equipment. Whereas, as we can see previously, as usual, Nova Wellness lower ratio may reflect underutilized assets or recent investment, not yet translating into higher sales. Sorry about that. One moment. So, lastly, we look at total asset turnover. Apex Healthcare shows higher total asset turnover compared to Nova Wellness. So this shows that Apex Healthcare is more efficient in using total asset to generate revenue, whereas Nova Wellness lower ratio suggests that they are less efficient and their assets are utilized not utilized, possibly due to excess capacity, slower sales growth, or more conservative asset management approach. So overall analysis, we can show that Apex Healthcare demonstrates superior operational efficiency across all activity ratio, whereas Nova Wellness lags behind in activities ratio. So this shows that Nova Wellness is indicating very slow inventory movement. They are less efficient, slower receivable collection. This may be due to business model differences, growth stage, or more conservative approach to operations. In conclusion, we can see that Apex Healthcare is more effective in turning its resources into sales and cash, while Nova Wellness may need to focus on improving operational efficiency. On cooperative side, inventory management is superior account receivable turnover shows that Apex collect payment from customer more quickly, compared to Nova Wellness. So in summary, Apex Healthcare demonstrates greater operational efficiency and asset utilization, while Nova Wellness, as we know and we discussed earlier, though financially stable, however, that lags behind in turning its resources into sales and cash flow. Next, I'll pass to Afif to discuss about leverage ratio.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afif and I will continue on leverage ratio. As we can see now, we in the slide of the debt ratio, which we use the formula to calculate debt ratio is total debt divided by total asset. As we can see throughout the years from 2020 until 2024, both of company is showing that both are declining for both company. And next.
Next.
So this is the graph for the debt ratio, Nova and Apex 2020. As you can see, the debt ratio between these two companies throughout the years from 2020 until 2024, which is the Apex graph is higher than Nova. Next. So this is the time of interest. Now this is time of interest earned, which we use the formula to calculate. This is earning before tax divided by interest. As all of you can see that for Nova Wellness, we did not found any data about their financing or earning before tax. This means Nova Wellness did not report any interest expense or finance costs in its financial statement for this years. But only interest income is reported, which is not used in time interest calculation. But for the Apex company, as you can see, from 2020 until 2024, they've been significantly higher, and by 2023 and 2024 they declining. So for the summary, for the Nova Wellness, they maintains a very low and steady declining debt ratio from 0.17 to 0.08, showing it relies very little on debt to finance its asset. While for the Apex Healthcare Berhad, Apex has a higher but still healthy debt ratio, range from 0.25 to 0.18, indicating moderate use of debt in its capital structure. Achieves exceptionally high time interest earn ratio from 61 to over 750 times, meaning its earning are more than sufficient to cover interest payments. Next. In summary, Nova Wellness is extremely conservative with minimal debt and no interest burden, making it very low risk. Apex Healthcare, while using more debt, manage it very effectively, maintaining strong earnings and excellent ability to service its debt. So the comparative summary for debt ratio and time interest earned, Nova Wellness consistently maintain a much lower debt ratio than Apex Healthcare, indicating a more conservative approach with minimal reliance on debt financing, while Apex Healthcare use more debt in its capital structure, but its debt ratio remains within a healthy range, reflecting moderate leverage. So for the time interest earned ratio, Nova Wellness reports no interest expenses, resulting in an infinite time interest ratio. This means the company faces virtually no risk from interest obligation and is highly protected, while the Apex has exceptionally high time interest and ratios, far above industry norm, showing that its earnings are more than sufficient to cover interest payment. So for the overall comparison, Nova Wellness is extremely risk averse, prioritizing financial safety with minimal debt and no interest burden, while the Apex Healthcare balance moderate debt use with more robust earnings, ensuring excellent debt servicing ability and operational flexibility. So the conclusion is both companies are financially healthy, but Nova Wellness is more conservative and low risk, while Apex Healthcare effectively leverage debt to support growth without compromising its ability to meet interest obligations.
Sekejap. Tak payah baca
Next.
semua. Try.
So for the net profit margin, as we can see, for Nova Wellness, they're declining from 2020 until 2024. Same goes as Apex Healthcare, also declining throughout the years. Next. This is the graph showing that the net profit margin rate for both companies. And for the return on asset, we use earning after tax divide by total asset to get the amount. So as we can see throughout the years, both company have ups and downs throughout the years. Next. This is the graph for the return on asset between Nova Wellness and Apex Healthcare. Next. This is the return on equity calculation, which is we use earning after tax divide by total equity to get the amount. And this is the gross profit margin, which we use gross profit divide by sale to get the gross profit margin amount. And as we can see, for the Nova Wellness, the profit margin, we use operating profits, EBIT divide by sales to get the amount of operating profit margin. Okay, now I will pass to Aina to continue this presentation.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Aina Izzati. I will present for future business agenda. Future business agenda for Nova is product innovation and R&D. Product innovation is ongoing development of new nutrical and skincare products such as Nova Age Fix for anti-aging. The second one is retail and distribution expansion. Introduce Nova Health Mart licensing program to support local entrepreneurs. Expanding network for 1,021 to 1,628 outlets, including pharmacies, hospital, and clinic. The third one is investment and strategic investment and branding. Continue investment in top vision eye specialist Berhad to support healthcare diversification. Next.
Next.
For Apex Healthcare, the first one is pharmaceutical and R&D expansion. Development EU standard generic drugs, with first filing unexpected in 2026. The next one is strategic CRO partnership. Format joint venture with Zynex Healthcare Pte Ltd to boost product development. Collaborate with contract research organization to speed up R&D pipeline. The last one is global market focus, targeting regulatory approval in Malaysia and Singapore for product in respiratory.
Next.
I will explain on the essential points summary. Nova Wellness versus Apex Healthcare. So both company are financially strong, but with distinct strength and weakness. Especially for Nova Wellness, what can highlighted here is the company is higher liquidity ratio versus current and quick short-term financial hurts, conservative risk averse financial management, low debt and no interest expense, which is it can show the high net working capital, high profitability, gross profit, net profit operating margin, especially in earlier years. Recent decline in profitability 2024 signal challenge ahead. So Apex Healthcare better activity ratios, higher efficiency in inventory, uh, and receivability management. Use more debt but within a healthy range. Maintain high interest coverage DIE ratio. Show steady improvement in profitability, especially in recent year. Balance moderate leverage with robust earnings. The final insight from me, Nova Wellness, conservative, stable, and profit focused, while Apex Healthcare efficient, competitive, and oriented. Okay, thanks. Next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, on the recommendation part, what I can see here is Nova Wellness improve operational efficiency in inventory, receivable, and management, address profitability decline through cost review and new growth strategy, continue reservative debt management, but consider moderative leverage for expansion, while Apex Healthcare Berhad maintain strong operational efficiency, especially in inventory and receivables, improve profitability via cost control and focus on higher margin products. And last but not least is ensure leverage remain healthy and monitor debt serving capacity. For both company, what I can see here, the overall summary, Nova Wellness is strong liquidity and profitability. Apex Healthcare strong in operational efficiency and asset utilization. And last but not least, both should address weakness and leverage strength to improve financial performance and competitiveness in the healthcare industry. That's all from our group. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What is that?